All right, so for setting up your paper according to MLA format, I want to show you that Microsoft Word already includes a template for that. So let's say that you opened up your Microsoft Word document and you see where the File button is. It allows you to go to New, and New is where you'll see kind of like a laundry list of different types of templates. Now down here, you're going to see where it says MLA style paper. This is the one that we want to get to. But let's say, for example, it's not on this sheet of paper here, it's not on that page, then you would just type in MLA, and notice that it gives you MLA style paper right here. And for our purposes, we're going to click on the one that says MLA style paper, and just double click on it, and it's going to open for us. Now, you'll notice that when it opens for us, it looks kind of funky. It's already assuming that, you're going to have an essay portion, you might have a table, you might even include a figure, and then you might have a works cited page. Now, for our purposes, we're just setting up something just for your garden variety essay. So I'm going to suggest that you delete all of this extra information because it's going to be distracting and I haven't required this of you as of yet. But whatever your first and last name is, that's what you populate this template with. So I'm going to pretend that my name is Anouk Rourke. So I'm going to type that in, Anouk Rourke. So that's the first thing that I need to do. Then I have to double click on this header portion right here and include my last name, which I'm pretending is Rourke. So I also include Rourke here. In order to get out, I can click close, or I can just double click onto the main document. Then I include the instructor's name, which is right here. My name is Professor Grimes, so I would type in Professor Grimes. Then it asks for the course number. We're in English 1000 and we are section 40. Then whatever the date is, it's according to military time. Today's date is September 11th, so we put 11 September 2017. After that, then you must have a centered title. You know that it's centered because on the menu bar, this is actually depressed and highlighted. So let's just say that I'm titling this MLA and I call this Practice. All right, so I have the important information on my left-hand side. I have my last name and the page number, and the way that MLA sets this up is that every single page will have pagination or page number. Then I have a title. Well, notice that this is centered. Now I need to press the Enter button, and it goes to, look at this, an indentation, which is important because when I write paragraphs, then the first part needs to be indented. So let's say I'm writing a paragraph on the American Dream, voila. I would then put TS for topic sentence, and I would say one reason why the American Dream should be considered, should not, let's actually do what you guys didn't argue, should not be considered a delusion is that a dream is just that, a dream, not a promise. Okay, so TS here represents topic sentence, and that is according to Anatomy of an Essay. For body paragraphs, you have to have a topic sentence which relates to your thesis statement. So we have, why do we think the American dream is not a delusion? Because it's just a dream, not a promise. And then if I were using Ehrenreich, then I would write evidence here, right? And I would find a quote from Ehrenreich and introduce it. So one of the ways that we've been practicing is to say, according to Barbara Ehrenreich, in, and since this is an excerpt and not the entire book, from Nickel and Dimed, right? And then we would have whatever quote, and we lowercase the first letter because this is not the beginning of a sentence, right? And it keeps going. And let's say this is on page 212. So as you can see, we have a topic sentence, we have evidence, And then what should follow is some sort of commentary where we explain how the quote proves our topic sentence. And we remember that the topic sentence is an idea that comes from the thesis statement. And the thesis statement was where we turned in composition draft 1. Now, I want to go back up here because I intentionally wrote from Nickel and Dime to show that this was an excerpt. But the other thing that you need to realize is that since this is from a real book, it does need to be in italics. So I can go from Nickel and Dime like that. Or if I want to show that it's just a book, I could delete just this information right here, which I'm going to signify by this deleting, and then only leave the title. But I kind of like to show that this is just an excerpt that I'm referring to, so I'm going to keep it as is. So once you finish setting up your document, then, and hopefully it's a topic sentence, evidence, commentary, right? It's going to be longer than this. Then, of course, you would go to File and Save As. And probably the best way to save this is to save it as either a PDF, or you can save it as a .docs or a .doc. This one, or this one would be compatible, and you would press the save button and whatever this one's called. So let's say that this is actually called CD2, right? And then you would save it right here. I'm not going to save it right now, but that would be what your goal would be. And then it would then change the document 8 to CD2. Well, let's just go ahead and do that so you can see how it looks. So you see it changed it to CD2, and voila, you have created a document that is accurate and according to MLA format. Now I'm anticipating that you have a question about whether or not you have to use Times New Roman. This is kind of a weird rule, but what MLA prefers is that your your fonts be have like little hooks. They're called tariff sans. So as long as you use a font that has like little hooks, right, then you're fine. So one of the things that I like to do is if I don't like Times New Roman, then I'll change it to Bell, which kind of looks like Times New Roman, but it's a little more fancy. But if I do that, I have to make sure that everything has been changed to Bell as I'm doing right now. Now, of course, the default is Times New Roman, right? And that's totally fine. But if you wanted to do something a little fancier, you could. All right, so this kind of shows you how to set up your document according to MLA format, and I hope that that's clear. Okay.